All right, I'm back. I apologize. Dude, this is awful. We'll see if we get anybody back in here. I don't know, man. My Google Chrome has been messing with me all day, and I'm hoping this doesn't happen again. So I got to tweet this out real quick again. I was on a roll too. It was so frustrating. Yo, Stonks. Yes, sir. Crow. Dargaleth. What's going on, man? Shoot. Okay. I have no idea how many of y'all were around before I got rugged. I just explained the whole bridging process. That's all I'm going to do with that. We're going to go ahead and move on. Yo, what's going on, Metaverse Kid? Good to have you back, man. Dude, I'm hoping this doesn't happen again. If it does happen again, I may just have to call it for the night, but I'm hoping not. I may just go ahead and skip from here to go ahead and just dive into the FriendMax and FriendTech stats, because that's the really interesting stuff, right? Dude, that still pisses me off. We're back up to a full 7 concurrent. We were breaking 30. It was going pretty well there a second ago. Oh shoot, the Kaleo shares are pumping right now. Love to see it. Or Kaleo Keys now. They switched the name of it to Keys from shares. Oh, Magnus CPA needs a FriendTech code. King, whenever you're on there, I will buy your shares. Don't worry. I'm trying to buy all the wonkies shares. I don't think Crow's on there. I'm going to look and see if Crow is on there right now. Heck, I mean, if you guys are anybody in here, if you're on there and you're cheap, especially right now, like, I will buy all of y'all. Nope, I don't see you, Crow. I mean, I get it. Like, here's my thing though. I think it's worth it to spend the $20 to be able to bridge over and create an account. For nothing else, I think that you'll get that much back, at least in an airdrop down the road. Like, you've got 6 months to be able to farm an airdrop. I really think that you've got an opportunity throughout those 6 months to easily do enough activity to be able to claim enough points to be able to, you know, and like I said, where did the activity skyrocket here? Whenever the airdrop happened on that Friday. As soon as the airdrop happened and everybody was sharing their points that they got, activity just skyrocketed in the total transactions for the app. So I think it's going to happen again. I think that we're seeing right now, said this a bit ago, a little bit of a die-off right now. You know, hot weekend whenever FaZe Clan, the rest of them came in, you know, activities died off. I think we're going to get a little bit of a lull through here, and we're going to see this in the charts for a bunch of the different accounts that are that we're going to chart here in a second on FriendMax. But yeah, I think we're going to get a little bit of a lull. But dude, think about it this way. Like, all of those big accounts that brought that peak for the activity for FaZe and the other main, you know, the normies that are out there that all have created account, not just the normies, but there were a lot of big accounts that refused. Like, they were giving people shit for making, you know, I know myself included, for making FriendTech accounts and for talking about the app. Every single big account since then has made a FriendTech. Every single one. So all of these guys this next Friday are going to shill how many points that they got. Like, it is this low IQ, but it's this easy, right? Like, it doesn't take a genius to be able to figure out this next Friday is going to have a bigger surge in volume than the last Friday, because there were a lot more people that were onboarded this time around, right? Shit, did it disconnect again? I will be pissed if it did. I don't think that it did. I think we're still live. Do not tell me that it disconnected. I am going to be heartbroken. Okay, no, we're good. We're good. I saw an old message pop up and I was scared there for a second. But I do need to tweet something else out to get more people back in here. So yeah, anyway, like it doesn't take a genius to be able to figure out that we're going to see this huge, like whenever you get Pentoshi and you get Rookie and you get FaZe, you know, like all the different FaZe Banks, you get Grayson Allen, all these different people tweeting about their points for the first time. You know, again, think about how much smaller of a pool of people there were that talked about it here. You know, you had Z, you had myself, you had like Icebergy, Jeebus. You know, you had a few accounts back here that were talking about it, but not many. The huge influx happened here. So again, whenever everybody is flexing how many points they got, and a lot of these new accounts are going to have received a lot of a share or a huge percentage of the share of points this time around because they had the largest influx of ETH traded on their accounts this time around. So you're going to see a huge influx of people that are talking about how many points that they were airdropped. And with that, again, you're going to see this skyrocket, and this is going to look like this on the chart, right? Like it is going to continue to grow, I think, parabolic from here. We only have at the peak an average of 3K concurrent buyers slash sellers. Like that is absolutely nothing. So it's going to continue to go viral. Why? Because people are making money, you know, and it rewards creators, but it also, there are a lot of people that are saying that it's gamed to where only large accounts can win from this. I completely disagree. I think that the large accounts definitely have an advantage whenever it comes from raking in the fees, but the smaller accounts definitely, like the points algorithm is twofold, right? You get points from what it looks like, both the volume of the shares that you are trading and holding, and the volume of shares that have been traded and held for your account as well. So it's a combo of both. Because I've seen some accounts on there that have a floor of 0.01 ETH for their floor price, which means basically nobody has traded their shares. And they also like had 5,000 plus FriendTech points. So they were absolutely killing it. Why? Because they were actively trading the shares. So you have a chance to be able to farm these points. And from what a lot of people have talked about, I've kind of heard a ballpark for what people are estimating this is going to be. You know, whenever the points do finally drop as a token down the road, you're looking at somewhere between probably 25 cents to $1 for each point that is released. So, you know, if you were able to farm 1,000 points, like that's anywhere from $250 to $1,000 that you're talking about that you're going to get 6 months down the road. And that's after 1 week for a lot of people. So, point being, they're going to do 100 million points. And from the sounds of it, that's going to be over 26 weeks. So, what does that mean? 100 million. Over 26. That is 3.85 million points per week. So, couple things to think about in that process. So, as you're looking here and you're looking at the total ETH that's been traded, you know, again, a way larger chunk of ETH has been traded here than was traded here. So the total points that people are going to get per each distribution is going to start to decline as each week increases. So right now, again, if we're expecting a larger spike for the next one, points are going to be more competitive. Now, I do think that here in a few months, we're probably going to see the app die down. You're going to get a mid-point whatever lull. So a few months from now, you're probably going to die down a little bit. Maybe it's trading around here, and maybe that's where there are some solid farming opportunities for really, upping your volume to be able to up your percentage of points that you can actually claim. Yo, Altcoin Daily, my man, welcome on. Good to have you, man. Yeah, it's a key now, not a share. Welcome to my humble 3,000 sub account. One day I'll get to where y'all are. One day. It's gonna take a minute though. Yeah, so again, looking at the stats for this, I think that it's written on the wall for where we're heading. You are seeing that parabolic advance right now from the first points drop. The second points drop is going to come. So we've got that coming up not too long from now, and let's look, what is the thing that is driving a lot of this incentive at the top level? I tiered this, or I will tier this by just earnings. And let's look at what some of these top accounts are making, because every time you buy and sell, and this is something to think about closely whenever you're investing, 5% fees are immediately taxed and sent over to the person who actually has the shares, right? The other 5% are sent to the FriendTech team. So there's an immediate 10% tax on this, 10% royalty, I guess you could say. Almost, same type of concept as OpenSea whenever it first came about. Yo, what's going on, man? What's going on? So, on here, you can look at I made up an email just for this. So I've got something that y'all can look at, or a user account name for this, and nobody care about what it is. So you can laugh at that. So anyway, got to keep on top of the offset game. Hey, but if y'all have codes, feel free to shill them in the account. Please shill them in the chat, because I'm sure that people in the chat want to see what's going on here. So yeah, look at the earnings on here. Kobe has earned nearly 80 ETH. 80 ETH. Oh shoot, I did not want to see at the bottom of this. I gotta bring it back up. Saka, 56 ETH. Ox Racer. Racer is the person who, co-founded FriendTech. 55 ETH on his shares. Suzu, 33 ETH. Rookie, 22 ETH. X-Curve 15. You can go down the list, even down here, at some of these other shares, like SatStart's made nearly 3 ETH. So this is what's bringing people over, right? Again, from the creator perspective, people are flexing these numbers, and from the creator perspective, it brings a large incentive at the top to be able to come over and to be able to provide some type of value, to be able to, and that's the crazy thing that I think that I've seen too, is that all these people that I think people are just selling pipe dreams right now to try to get their shares to pump as far as the value that they're going to offer for their chat. And I think it's ridiculous. That's one thing that I've said as far as my chat. I'm not going to sit there and offer any incentives for owning my shares, other than the fact that it's I'm in that chat room. I talk to the people. I think that there's some value in that. I reply, I'm active with it. And, maybe there's something that I'll look at down the road as far as other incentives, but I don't want to sit there and promise some empty pipe dream. I just think that's ridiculous. But hey, more respect to the people that can make it work. It's just not my approach. So yeah, you can see Pentashi 15 ETH so far. So a lot of these guys, like Pentashi, he's earned 15 ETH from 285 ETH in volume. That was all this week. FaZe, dude, he's got, 830 ETH of volume this week. So he is going to print as far as the point distribution is concerned this week. So then guys like me, I got a 10,000 point airdrop, or 9,400 to be more specific, last week. And I forget exactly what my point distribution was. Let's see this. So my point distribution was, or not my volume, My volume is probably half of this. So like I will get pennies compared to last week because of how many people that just ended up coming in new this week, like rookie, 440 ETH in volume. Point being, way more competitive landscape. Like this shows you what I'm talking about as far as a more competitive landscape for the points each week. Total ETH volume continues to increase. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a breakdown of one of the things that I'm looking at right now. But let's go ahead and go over to the charts. Dude, so I've got like a few theories. Like I've got some of this guy's shares because he has 260 accounts that he's invested in. And I think that even though like some people have small Twitter accounts, that there can be some value just by the fact that like, if you invest in all of the top accounts, it's almost like there are some people that are down here that have, like some of the top accounts. If I go back over here, like the FriendTech index, the only thing the FriendTech index promises is that they hold shares from some of the top accounts and then have a Telegram channel where you can access what those chats say. So it basically is like all encompassing where you can have access to see all of the different things from whatever, it's the same type of thing from like a smaller account like that. Like I've invested in a lot of those guys who have bought my shares just because I see, potential and similar type of arc where, they get exposure via holding stuff. So I think that's one idea, one play. But let's go ahead and look at just all the top accounts right now and just see how the market's trending. Dude, so I look at this, like it is so funny how you can track this literally like shitcoins. Like if I were sitting there and I had a line that I drew directly through that, I'm not sure where Racer's going to blow off to, but Racer probably goes higher than this. I would bet at some point there's a little bit of a correction. Again, if I were to put a line right here, probably a retest after that blow off back to that line, probably chops there and continues higher. So like Racer, if you think this app is going anywhere, Racer is the dude's chat that you want to be in, because at the end of the day, he's going to be the one that's able to drop alpha as far as, any type of potential insights that you may not get elsewhere. So I don't think that Racer is a bad bet ever. There's probably going to be a point, but I honestly think Racer under 10 ETH, and I own no Racer shares, so I'm not like shilling a share. He's the founder of the damn app. So again, from that perspective, you could go here and say like, here are a few people from the team. This thing is still a little bit buggy. Shrimp Pete, right? Like co-founder of the app, probably undervalued, honestly, here. Like that's another one I don't think that you can go wrong with. And honestly, another one that I think probably makes sense from that perspective. And I'm talking about these accounts kind of grouped because I do think that there are these little mini trending sectors almost of accounts that are kind of popping up within this space. So, this one is who are the founders of FriendTech, right? And I think that PancakeSprout, not founders, but who are the team? PancakeSprout is another one, right? Like I look at this, I think this is bullish. I think there's some advantage to being able to have, some type of inside information to the people that are on the team for this. So, PancakeSprout is another one that I think has a pretty decent chance. Oh, shoot, there it is. I was on the wrong. Yeah, like look at that, dude. If I see that chart, and again, I own no PancakeSprout. I should. I'm an idiot for not, but I don't. Like, I need to buy some. Like that is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful chart. I would look at that anywhere else. I'm like, send that shit. So, let's see. Well, let's dive through everybody else's. We'll figure out different sectors. You can see again, like the peak here for a lot of accounts that have been around since the beginning. Like, Kobe's was a day one. looks like this is the same type of thing that happened right there, where you had a little bit of a sell-off, slow grind up to new highs. Again, I really think a lot of these accounts are going to continue to pump to new highs at least through this next week. I think right now, like, there's an awesome opportunity across the board to be able to buy into some dips for people that are not going away. So again, I think Kobe's one of those. You know, Hasaka, I look at this and I don't know. I don't think this looks quite as clear cut, but you know, like, it still doesn't look terrible. Z, dude, to me, Z's chart right now looks beautiful. Like, I see this type of this and this, like, it's a continuation pattern, right? You're going to continue to see Z's pump, which I think Z was an investor into FriendTech. I think he's close with those guys. I think that's kind of the alpha behind investing in him and why he's up there, you know, with Racer and some of those guys toward the top. Sisyphus. So Sisyphus pumped like crazy whenever he tweeted out that he's going to airdrop 100% of his tokens from his airdrop. He's going to distribute 100% of those tokens to his holders, and his shares went insane. So I think that's actually a really interesting strategy. I don't know feasibly and legally how you do that. Because the way I look at it is, like, if you're doing this from a legal perspective, you know, like, at that point, you're basically paying a bunch of people, and to be able to write off that expense, you know, like, I think that you need more information to be able to, like, legally distribute that type of an airdrop with that value, assuming he may get a 6-figure airdrop, right? So call it a 6-figure airdrop distributed amongst like 100 holders. You know, it's like $1,000 each, where maybe it's small enough per person to where it doesn't really matter, but at the same time, I don't know. So I think what he's basically banking on is that by doing that, increases the value of his shares. And by increasing the value of his shares, he's able to rake in more ETH, and he's okay with sacrificing whatever the token airdrop is for the increased ETH that he ends up getting from that. So, you know, point being, I'm just talking through kind of like what some of the different people that have done this are doing, what the differences is. So I am for X. So, you know, basically this dude has a sick terminal, and his shares provide you access to that terminal. So, you know, like, that is why his shares have done really well since day one, is, you know, the access to the utility to that terminal. Xcurve has done incredibly well because Xcurve has promised early access to the beta, for Unibot X. So another one up there. I am not sure why Suzu is doing so well, but, you know, he's got his redemption arc, I guess, here. Let's see. You know, Rookie basically promised his holders, and Rookie was another recent one. He promised his holders, whoever holds 2 or more shares, some type of exclusive chat for the Money Magnet Gang, where he's going to take some of those giveaways that he's been doing through those sponsorships and give them, you know, some type of exclusive access for his holders. So, you know, that is why his took off so freaking fast versus a lot of others. Banks just promised once he got into the top, whatever, 5 ETH, and he did get to number 1. So I'm curious if he actually distributed that 5 ETH. But yeah, this was the first of the, like, the outside crypto influencer wave that came in, and you can just see, and you'll notice a trend for a lot of these that came in last night, like similar type of charts where they've just been bleeding off since then. The Ethot girls, you're right, Rami. The OnlyFan Ethot girls is another sector that we're going to get to. So I've been asked the question whether or not I think that this is going to take away liquidity or add liquidity as far as the overall app. I think initially what it does is it definitely does take it away from, the crypto native people, because they're not onboarding a million new users to FriendTech immediately. Because think about it, I had to teach crypto native people at the beginning of this stream how to bridge over to Base. Like, that means that there's a whole new wave of people that have to buy ETH, aka set up a Coinbase account, then bridge it over to Base, then from there, create an account and go. And I'm not saying that's impossible. I'm just saying it's not going to happen immediately. But this is the first step to being able to make a viral application happen like that. You have to have these type of influencers flexing this stuff. They have to flex how much ETH they've made. They have to flex, how many points they've gotten. Oh yeah, Rookie did say that he would give everybody, he's got the verified Twitter account, and he'd give everybody a free blue tick and badge. That was the other part of the thing. Which again, dude, let me just say, for one, I respect the man for attempting that and going for it. But dude, that's going to be a full-time job for him, marking and demarking people that are professional associates of his account. And if people are just trading his account like that, like, I don't even know if Twitter allows you to mark that many people and then deselect that many people the way that he's talking about doing that. And I respect it, and I hope the best for him with it, but that's going to be tough to actually follow through. But anyway, so yeah, like, I think initially it definitely will suck the liquidity away from crypto native people, because it's only crypto native people that are on this right now investing. But from the long-term perspective, you have to have these type of people come on board and bring their audiences with them at a certain point, and this is the only way to do it. So I think that's good and healthy from a longer-term perspective. Then you've got dudes like Christian ETH. He just bought 65 of his own shares, and I think there are 10 holders here. So that's the next phase of some of these top accounts that you can look at, are guys like him and guys like 8892OS who just decided to buy all of their own shares. And the thesis behind investing in a guy like this is, okay, well, if they bought all their own shares, surely they're not going to dump on me, right? They're crazy enough to probably buy more. But personally, I don't know if I like that or not, right? Like, all it takes is one instant for these guys to be like, oh, I want my 65 ETH back, and just dump all of their shares on you. And you're rugged immediately. So, like, if you want somebody that owns 90% of the pool themselves, like, go for it. Honestly, like, this one looks pretty bullish to me also for Oxlalia. Like, decent growth arc. Pretty sure that he's offering some type of trading room that he's in. No idea what salience is, but dude, point being, I'm scrolling through this for y'all. Like, these charts all look bullish right now. Milady? Actually, or is that Remilio or Charlotte? Ah, Remilia. Yeah. Well, still Milady. Not as much of a fan of this one. Like, even ETH Ben, like, look at that channel, dude. The descending channel that's going to break higher. Sorry, just want to see one thing over here. I thought I saw Doge moving. Not much. Never mind. Sorry about that. Okay, let's keep rolling. Let's look at Pentashi. I mean, honestly, I look at a chart like this, pretty quick pump, slowly bleeding. I wouldn't say to bet against Pentashi. But I would say you might get a chance to be able to buy a little bit lower here. Like if I'm just looking at this from a pure chart perspective, looks like it needs to form a little bit more of a base, probably channel out, you know, touches beneath 0.5 ETH, probably a pretty solid buy. But I would hold off for now because, you know, again, we got to go back to looking at what the trend of this is, right? So this peaked off. This was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you know, the first few days for its trend. Here we are with Friday basically resetting the cycle with the points distribution. You know, we're entering in I think the Tuesday, Wednesday lull coming up. So I still think that you're going to see a little bit of profit taking for the next couple of days. You know, this would probably be the opportunity to really look for, as people are profit taking, what are the... I'll get to inverse sprawl here in a second. But, you know, like, what are the ones that are down that you really want to potentially stack? And I think that, like, you're probably going to run into some opportunity over the next couple of days. So again, that might be one to be looking out for as it is declining. DeFi Maestro. I mean, like, I don't know, man. Doesn't look terrible. Dude, who the hell is this guy and why is this chart just going up like that? Timothy Ronald? Who the hell is Timothy Ronald? I don't know, man. He speaks some other language. What language is this? Indonesian. Dude, I have no idea how crazy Indonesian Twitter is, so I'm not going to say one way or the other what's going to happen with these, but personally, I wouldn't buy into a pump like that, especially if I don't know who the person is. Like, what is the advantage of buying OKX here? Do they offer some type of premium advantage for owning their FriendTech shares? They haven't tweeted out a single thing about it. Yeah, I would dump that shit. Like, I don't know who would buy this right now unless it's all speculation that they're going to offer some type of perks and privileges, I'm sure. Maybe they've tweeted out something and I missed it, but if they haven't, you know, I wouldn't buy that. Who are so many of these people? Bull BNB? I guess this is like a BNB person. Dude, it just, like, anybody who tweets out this type of stuff is just somebody I don't trust. That's all I'm going to say. Like, if this is your feed, I don't trust you. Like, if it's just flexing, whatever. I mean, I guess it's just a Binance hero. I don't know. Ox Captain Levi. Don't know this dude. I know that he, on his Twitter, he said, I'm building the most valuable FriendTech thing, but I look at his account. Honestly, seems a little bit overvalued for the number of followers that he has. I'm not going to say that it doesn't mean he can't go higher, but just seems like it's a little bit of a harder storyline. KBM. I like that. I like this right here for KBM. You know, nice little breakout here. Accumulation, like, you know, after the dip, like, this probably wouldn't be a bad spot to buy KBM. Gainsy, dude, I have a feeling this is going to be like, this is just a fractal that's forming right now for Gainsy. You've got that flag, that pennant here. Same type of thing's going to happen here. So I think, honestly, Gainsy anywhere underneath that 0.7 area, probably a pretty solid buy. Yeah, because Gainsy just shills the shit, man. Like, it's that simple. Gainsy does a good job of shilling himself. And Gainsy, I think, also holds like 20 of his own shares. So, and I don't think he's going to dump them on you. But then again, Gainsey, like, if he wanted to dump them, he'd do it in a heartbeat. Okay, we're finally to a new meta. Give me 2 seconds. I got to take off my hoodie. It's kind of getting hot. Yeah, actually, fun fact, my account would not be the size that it is if it weren't for Gainsey. So Gainsey gave me a shout out back in the day for, really got me kicked off in the summer of 2020, shouted me out. And like, that's how I really got clout with a bunch of the larger CT accounts. And I don't think I ever would have gone on the arc that I did had it not been for Gainsey. But yeah, you've got this e-girl meta. Dude, I think this is the dumbest thing. Like, anybody that buys these deserves for them to go to 0 because these e-girls, I don't know, like, if the app, here's the thesis, I think. If the app ever has, like, photos and videos that can be posted on there or even audio, yeah, like, these will probably go more viral because there's some sick freaks out in this world, but I personally don't support that. So, nah, man, like, these things deserve to nuke back down. I think we'll see that across a lot of these. Crypto Man ran. Dude, here's the thing. I don't want these to go higher, but he's got, like, and I don't really like this chart too much, but Ran has a pretty diehard audience somehow, like in some sect of crypto Twitter, so it probably does move higher. Yeah, we already looked at Gracie Hardy. Dude, Jiva shares honestly looks super bullish right here. Yeah, send the Jiva shares. Crypto Jamie honestly looks like a bit of a double top. Probably breaks back down before climbing back up. Zach XBT looks bullish. But then again, one of the things you have to think about with a lot of these are some of the newer accounts like Zach, where they were created, yesterday. So they haven't really had their opportunity for a pullback yet. So that's one thing to think about with some of these is, you're buying into the pump versus buying a dip. And I think sometimes buying a dip is a little bit of a safer move. Yeah, I agree. Like Ran is a scammer, but sometimes scammers pump the hardest until they rug. Shout out to the Kaleo shares. I'm sorry, got to go ahead and talk about it real quick. I don't know, dude. Again, like I look at this and here's the thing. I'm not like, I want to be careful with all of these for what I say. I look at this from a charting perspective. I think it goes higher for now. And like, I'm active in there. I reply to y'all whenever anybody asks anything. I'm not promising any extra utility. If I do anything extra at some point, great, it's a bonus. But, right now, like it is just access to be able to talk to me on a more intimate level, talking through, sharing some of that alpha as I get it. Nothing too crazy. Like, honestly, same type of thing for like guys that have, the stonks. Exact same type of deal. So I'm not really doing anything too crazy, too different with it, but I have been super active with the app and I'm sharing what I can about it as I find it out on there. I think the value kind of reflects with that. This right here looks similar to this. Like, dude, we're sending to 1 ETH. And hey, there's going to be a blow off top eventually with this app. And I'm sure there's going to be a point where all of this retraces like for a couple months on the in-between, a few months down the road. But I really look at where we are right now in the cycle of this. Like, you buy into momentum. And I think right now the momentum is there. So the pullback's there. I think we're going to send higher, like run it up. Cleodo and ETH. I was asked about inverse bra. I don't know, man. I don't love this chart, honestly. Doesn't mean that it can't go higher. I'm not the biggest fan of the chart, though. So I I would love to buy a share just to see what he actually says in there, if he says anything. Like, what is he? Is he screenshotting other chats and putting them in there? Like, you can't even do a screenshot. Like, how is Inverse Bra leveraging his skills in a chat? I just don't see it happening. I mean, I love the dude, but it's tough. Dude, please nuke this guy's shares to 0. Please, Lord. Again, I already talked about Pancakes Bra. Dude, this is probably the most bullish chart that I've seen on here. I will shout out Pancakes Bra right now. His chart looks bullish as hell. Kazomo Medici. Oh, dude. Okay, Adam is hilarious because Adam's like the OG of buying all his own shares to pump them. He did that, and he's probably, autistic enough to continue doing that just because he is huge into farming and has a huge ego. So, like, he's probably going to end up going higher, but it's weird. Like all these phase guys, man. Here's the deal: they're gonna stay lower, in my opinion, unless they really are able to onboard more people to their chat. Tier 10K. This is an interesting one because I actually think Tier 10K could be a really good buy here. Like, this is an app that really, really leverages his strong points as far as the text thing. He could even promise releasing some information quickly here before he does it on Twitter. So I think there are some potential upsides as far as, his type of media really, really playing in strong to this. Get some other guys that are just chopping right now. Again, man, I'm telling you, the biggest thing that I'm noticing just scrolling through these different charts, like, they are all bullish. Just about, like, it all plays into what I'm talking about, how this is a blip and this is going to look like this. You've got another phase up. I really think FriendMex, if you've got ETH right now, it's a solid place to be able to start dumping some ETH. Cynics, I like this chart. Like, that's probably a value buy. Loomdart, I don't know what the hell happened here with that pump and dump. Like, it looks like somebody's giving the middle finger to the rest of the chat. Darth, I'm not sure. So, if they're changing the airdrop requirements each week, they probably will, so people don't game it fully. But I haven't heard anything so far about the actual statistics for what they're tracking for the metrics for it. But I think it'd be genius if they do, because it would keep people way more engaged if it's not like just a cookie cutter formula. I won't lie, man. Frank is probably a buy somewhere down here. He just has so many people obsessed with him that when this gets trending again and more, like, NFT Twitter surprisingly was a little bit late to the game with this, but they're all on here now. Send it. Altcoin Daily, who was in the chat a little bit ago, they actually look super bullish here too. Like, that looks like when you think about their audience, they are one of the largest YouTube/Twitter accounts right now that are out there. They're not like part of the mainstream CT group, but they're part of the YouTube CT group. So they've got a huge audience. Like, I see no reason why, if the app keeps going, that they wouldn't have a chance of being able to continue to pump their shares higher. So that's probably a decent value buy. I love Angelo, and if he's actually active in there, then yeah, that'd be cool because he never talks on CT very regularly anymore. Awesome dude. If he is active in there, then these would be, I think, some of the sickest shares to hold. But if he's not active, then don't see the upside. You know, Nade Shot, another example of just bleed off from that hype from last night of these guys that are non-CT native that probably don't actually give a shit about this, that were just in it for a quick ETH buck. But might resurrect come Friday. Like, so these are the type of guys, if they're way oversold Friday, that might be worth buying, because when they flex their points from how much ETH they had traded on their accounts, these are guys that I'm looking at, you know, Thursday evening to be able to potentially stack. Yeah, BitBoy will definitely end up on here. There's no way he doesn't. Net capital, I don't know, man. I don't see anything super sexy about this neck chart, but like, I love Trader Main. I think he has some of the best alpha in the space. So I just don't think that he's going to shill his shit to be able to move it. It's the only thing. Like, it will move with the rest of the market. You know, same thing with Don Alt. Icebergie's probably a decent buy, man. Icebergie has a lot of alpha with the DeFi space. You know, he was super, super early to the app. Probably ends up moving. Tease looks like he's topped up a little bit, but, you know, Tease, I like, big fan of Tease. Ooh, big correction for Loma there. McKenna looks toppy. Yeah, big correction for small cap science also. So you can see some of the guys that have been around for a little bit with some decent corrections. Like Big Dick Bull. I don't know, man. That's probably a buy the dip opportunity somewhere in here. Like, he's been a day one guy. I feel like he's got ins with the team. Might not be a bad spot. Dude, this is one of those things where I want hers to nuke to zero, but how is that not bullish? So yeah, seeing some corrections on some of these other accounts that have been up here. Oh, Dr. Bob Lax is on here now. It's funny. Freaking Jeremy Allaire? Elio Trades representing the YouTube side of it. I mean, point being, guys, that, like, I really think there's a lot of opportunity right now. It's tough to go wrong. I mean, but Kaleo Army is going to send to 1 ETH. So we're in early. We're going to keep sending. You know, if the market, here's the deal. I think as long as the market's trending higher with this, like, we're going to move with it. Whenever the market corrects, whenever that is, whenever there is a top point, which I think that we're at least a couple weeks away from that, you know, probably maybe longer. Again, I really think 2 months from now, yeah, like, there's going to be some little bit of a pullback, but who knows how high we're going to get before then. I think right now you're looking at this like sub ETH opportunity. That's easy. But yeah, you know, we'll have some interesting stuff to look at over the next couple of days. Some interesting stuff as they talk more about the point distribution. But, you know, it's just so fun diving through a bunch of these charts, man. Like, I've got zero shame in diving through all these because they are the most bullish charts that I'm seeing right now across anything. Oh, Angelo is active. That's awesome. Yeah, like, I would love an Angelo share then. Love that he's in there active. But yeah, you know, hopefully this has been kind of helpful for y'all. Like, again, I'm still bullish on this. And I still think there's a long way to go. So I appreciate y'all being patient with all of my downs that I had with the stream earlier, but super, super hyped about where all of this is heading. And, you know, hopefully the market bounces back with this tomorrow, just adds more fuel to the fire. Love you guys, and we will see y'all tomorrow. Take it easy. Oh yeah, don't forget to hit that like button if you can, like, and also subscribe. Hit the notifications as well, because I don't have a set time that I stream. So whenever I do stream, you're going to want that notification going off so you can see it pop up without me having to tweet anything out.